Hey, Tony Gaskins here, Car Chronicles. Today talking to the fellas because when I woke up this morning, it was early this morning before the sun came up, and I was laying there, my head was on the pillow, and I've been just spending time with the spirit and being sensitive to the spirit so that I can really be in tune. And I thought about when I met my wife, and I knew she was my wife. I knew she was the one. When we sat down and we talked, the first time we sat down and talked, we talked 6 hours. And there was no arguing, there was no debating, there was no bad energy. And we talked about everything. When I got up from that conversation, I said, this woman has everything and is doing everything and is everything that I would want in a wife. Like, I can grow old with this woman. And I was 21 years old. But see, there was something wrong inside of me, because everything that I had saw, everything that I had heard was not healthy. I had saw abuse growing up all around me. Friends, family, it was everywhere. I saw divorce. I saw cheating. I saw people who had been together all of this time and never got married. So what I saw is brokenness. I just saw a trail of broken hearts, a trail of lost, confused, hurting people. So I assumed and I thought that a relationship is something you just do. It's just like religion, or not religion, but it's like tradition. It's like tradition. You just do it because that's what you're supposed to do. But there's really no real heart or no real love in it. There's really no real loyalty. And you just with each other to reproduce, push the world forward by bringing children into the world. And so that was in my heart, that was in my mind. So I was not willing and ready to be a real man, a good man, but yet I wanted a good woman. So I was operating from a place of selfishness. And what I realized, so many men do the same thing, is we are unwilling to work on ourselves, but we want this woman to be our savior. We want this woman to be everything. We want her to be pure, pristine, perfect, but we want to be flawed. So we hold her to a standard that we don't hold ourselves, because we see ourselves as dirty, as average, as lowly, as worthless. And what I mean by that is I'm speaking spiritually, sexually. So as men, most men will lie down with countless women. But then if a woman lies down with countless men, she's all of a sudden the scum of the earth, the lowest of the low. And the reason why is because we feel her body is more precious than our body, and that her body should be praised, and her body should be preserved, and her body is a sacred place. So we say that and we feel that on one side, but then yet we feel her body should be saved to be defiled by us. So it's a sin if she's been touched by another man or many men, but then we see it as okay if we take her through the ringer, if we lie to her, if we cheat on her, if we disrespect her, then it's okay because we're flawed. So our excuse is that we're flawed. We're not perfect. We're human. We make mistakes. I'm just being a man. This is what men do. You're not going to find anything better. Accept what I give you, or be single and die alone. That's really our posture and our message to a woman. And I remember this because when I met my wife, it was like I wanted this good woman, but I wasn't trying to be a good man. And I thought I had her. And so what I wanted her to do is to be good for me, but to compromise her standards and let me be who I wanted to be who I was. And she wasn't with it. She was not with it, and she left me a few months into dating. Now, here's another thing that I did wrong. I took advantage of her lack of understanding of relationships and men. So I knew she had a good heart, but I knew she didn't understand fully men and relationships. So she thought and assumed that, yes, if you like a man, you're eventually going to have to lie down with him in order to keep him. And although she made me wait longer than I had ever waited, there was a part of her that still said, if I don't give it to him, then he'll go elsewhere to get it. And that's what many women believe. But we as men know that's not really true. That if we love a woman, we have the strength to wait on that woman and to meet her at her standards. That truly we want her to make us wait. And we want the challenge of trying to get her to not wait. But here's where we get caught up, is we get caught up in ego. We get caught up in ego, and so we want her to do what's right. But then yet we want to challenge ourselves to be able to get it. And then if she does not give it up, we want to get butt hurt and have an ego and then leave her. Or go cheat on her and throw it in her face, knowing that she's fallen in love, knowing that she's just trying to do what's right, knowing that she just wants to build on a firm foundation and have real love. But we will take that for granted, and we will try to take advantage of that. And we will try to manipulate this woman and deceive this woman and coerce this woman to live a backwards lifestyle like we're living. See, we want her to be lost like an upside down GPS, because that's how lost we are. See, we want her to give in and to relinquish her power and to lower her standards, because we've relinquished our power and we've lowered our standards. So we want her to be better than us, but yet we want her to still stoop to our level. It makes absolutely no sense. So you want a good woman, but you want to make her live a messy lifestyle. You want a good woman, but you want to ask her to do things out of order. See, this is what I need you to understand. Young man, don't block your blessings. Don't take advantage of a woman that can be the woman that helps you change your life for the better. That can be the woman that helps you go to the next level. Don't take advantage of that woman. Don't try to get a good woman who has her head on right to compromise her standards and who she is to stoop to your low level of living. So instead of asking her to compromise her standards, you need to elevate to her level and become better and build real love on a firm foundation. See, this is where we going wrong. And I remember because I tried to do it. And the reason why I do what I do today is because God spared me. He gave me another opportunity to get the woman back that I had tried to take advantage of, that I had tried to get her to lower her standards and to live at my low vibration. That's why I've committed and dedicated my life to the service of love and teaching love, because I made every mistake. And even when I got her back, she didn't chase me. I didn't chase her because I was operating from ego. But we just so happened to link back up and have a conversation. And it was 2 other people that brought us back together because they wanted to connect. So we end up connecting because we were the mutual friends. So when we reconnected, I saw I had another chance. And even in that moment, my wife still was learning and growing. And she knew what was right and she knew what she wanted. But yet at the same time, society said, if you don't give this man your body, then you won't be able to keep him. And men, we take advantage of that lie. And so many women actually believe that lie. And they believe it because we make them believe it. They believe it because we let them believe it. But if you ain't willing to go sleep with a man, what happened if you in the army and you just with men in training or in deployment? Or what happened if you go to prison? You go to jail? What happened if you go to a prep school with all boys? It's several times in our life to where we are not able to be with a woman. And we know how to do that. We know how to abstain. We know how to wait. But we play on the insecurity that the world has planted in the minds of our women. So now we break her down. And guess what? She becomes a reflection of us. So instead of your life getting better, your life gets worse. And then that's when you start to say, oh, marriage is a scam. Marriage is this. Relationships are stupid. Relationships hard. And you got everything negative to say about love. And it's only because you have no self-love. And because you hate yourself and you operating from a place of self-hate, now you make your woman stoop to your level and she starts to operate from a place of self-hate. So now you playing the game and she adapts and she learns how to play it better. And when she play it better, now you butt hurt. So you came to the game and you broke the rules. And then sometimes when you break the rules, a woman will play by the rules. But eventually she gets the strength. She finds out who she is. And now when she's ready to go, you on bended knee, crying and begging and pleading. But what is she worth? Because now you stripped her of all of her love. You stripped her of all of the dignity that she had for you. So now her real only option is to keep it moving with her life. But you want to hold on to her. But here's the thing. You still in a tug of war with your ego. So you'll get her back. And a lot of times you get her back and you do her worse than you did her the first time. Or you'll go and cheat on her. And instead of throwing it in her face, you cheating on her just to console yourself. Just to say, aha, I got you. But who really are you playing? You're not playing her. You played yourself. Because you're not just sinning against her. You're not just sinning against God. You're sinning against your own body. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for heartbreak. You're setting yourself up to be lonely. And then what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to be left. And you're going to be turned over to a savage woman who she's been taking complete advantage of. And all she knows is a savage heart. But she's smarter than you. She know how to play the game better than you. Now you finna be in a prison of self-hate. Now you about to pay a price. And now it's your turn to fall in love because she know how to make you fall in love. Now you fall in love. She rip your heart out your chest. Spit on it, throw it on the ground, and stomp on it with a Timberland. The same way you did every woman you've ever dealt with. And now you crying and you cursing the name of God. You cursing the name of love and you hate everything about it. But it's all to do with you. You refuse to have self-love. You refuse to be a real man. And now you hurt. Now you struggling. And now you blaming everybody else except yourself. Become a man.